Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and for today's holiday card, I am following along with this week's Color Throwdown Challenge that I'm late on as usual. The colors, when I first looked at them, I was like, I'm just not quite yet in the mood for that. But then I was like, you know what, those would actually work really nicely for Christmas colors still. A little bit non-traditional. I like it. They're basically green, pink, a craft color, and white. So I pulled out the WPlus9 Holiday Trimmings stamp set and decided to create my own pattern paper. So I am just stamping the different tree images multiple times on some Neenah Solar White Classic Crest cardstock here with 3 different colors of MFT dye inks. These are the old style ink pads, by the way. They introduced new ink pads forever ago. I don't have quite all of them. I've been slowly collecting the little mini ink cubes so I can get all the new colors and stuff, but these still work, so I still use them. So I'm just stamping these trees multiple times. I've super sped this part up. It still didn't take very long, but sometimes I would ink up the stamp it down, and without re-inking it, I would press it down on the cardstock again. So I was getting, several shades of the same colors and getting a little bit more variety out of just using the 3 ink pads. And then once I was done stamping my background, I pulled a little heart from that same holiday trimming set and just stamped that in some of the open areas just to kind of fill it out a little bit. And then I'm going to set that aside and work on the main characters for my card, which is this Holiday Hugs image from WPlus9 that I bought. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. It came out a couple years ago. It's not a new image. It's super cute though, and every time I mean to pull it out, something else, would get in my way, whatever. So today I made a point of using it because it's just so cute. And it doesn't have to be for Christmas either. This looks really cute for, winter themed cards, little winter birthdays, etc. So I stamped it onto some more Copic quality cardstock here, the Neenah Solar White. And I had used my Hero Arts Intense Block ink to stamp it. And then I'm just coloring everything in with Copic markers in colors that, again, match the kind of pattern paper I'd created, as well as like the color combo. So doing my standard working darkest to lightest with Copics, for me, it's just the lazy way out. It's less effort, less blending, and I can go a lot faster. An image like this doesn't take as long to color, but it's hard sometimes to get out of that habit when you start doing it this way, so that's just what I did. So I listed all the colors I used as I was coloring them here on the screen, so you guys can see which colors I used to create these different combos. Very basic, simple coloring. And once I had finished coloring everything, I'm going to go in with my white gel pen and add some little stripes to the scarf and little highlights and whatnot. I'm absolutely obsessed with using a white gel pen after coloring images. It doesn't matter if it's Copics or watercolor or color pencils, whatever. Adding the white little highlights and dots and whatnot just really makes everything pop. So that's what I did here. And then as a kind of an afterthought, I decided to make her little coat polka dotted because I thought that'd be so cute to have a little green polka dot coat. So after that was all done, I fussy cut this image out because I don't have the coordinating die set, which is shocking, actually. But I just fussy cut the image out, set that aside, grabbed some green cardstock from my scrap folder that is the same color green as the ink I used, and I'm stamping one of the sentiments from the Holiday Trimmings set onto it with Versamark clear sticky ink, and then coating that with some white embossing powder, melting it with my heat tool. And then there is a coordinating die set for the Holiday Trimmings set that will die cut all the sentiments and whatnot. So I die cut the sentiment, and while I was at it, I die cut the background with the largest of the MFT A2 Stitch Rectangle STAX set 2. That die. That's what I used to die cut the main, like the big pattern paper panel. So it's got that nice little stitching edge. And then I adhered the main character in the sentiment with some foam adhesive. And then for my card base, it's some Kraft cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And then I scored it at 5 1/2. So this would be a top folding A2 size card. And I put it back in my mini MISTI just for convenience. And I'm going to stamp the little main characters again with that same Kraft ink on the inside of the card. And then I'm using the sentiment from that Holiday Hugs set. And I'm going to line that up over this image and ink it up with that same intense black ink this time. And I ended up stamping it twice to get a really good, dark, solid sentiment. That's why I love the MISTI. I really, really do. Being able to just double stamp things, triple stamp if needed, whatever, to get things stamped perfectly. So inked that up a second time, stamped it. Now the inside of the card has something. And then to adhere my card front, I'm using the Big Mama foam tape roll that I showed in my last haul video. A lot of people asking about this. I already showed it in my previous video to this. So far, I am liking it. People have struggled with it. They don't like the backing paper, etc. I don't have too much of a problem with it so far. I like that it's thinner. It gives me the ability to add a little bit of dimension without it being as thick. So I have, you know, more options, because it's about half the thickness of the regular Scotch 3M foam tape that we're so used to. But I also find it works better with this one to cut it versus trying to tear it. It's a pain in the butt if you try tearing it. So that's what I use to pop the card front onto the card. And then I decided to add a few sequins just to kind of add a little bit of sparkle to this. So this is the Twinkle Lights mix from Little Things from Lucy's Cards. And I just kind of sprinkled those onto my card front using colors that matched this color combo. And I also added, there's little stars and whatnot in the mix. So I added a few of those, and they're kind of hard to see on camera, but there's some tiny, tiny little stars. I'm adhering everything into place with my Ranger Multi-Medium Matte Adhesive after picking everything up with my little crystal katana. And there is the Marvy jewel picker, which I've shown in multiple videos. That works great too. I like this one more for using little tiny sequins than that. I find the Marvy one is too sticky sometimes for little tiny sequins like this. But again, personal preference. So that finished my card for today. Really fun. As always, I will have a link below the video to my blog post, which will have a link to the color throwdown challenge and supplies, and all that info will be in the description box below the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.